So this is the Mahachaiensis, the Betta Mahachaiensis, and these guys are now eating flake. And I use a combination of probably about 3 different flakes and some of the Paradigm carnivore. So really good mixture that I basically grind up between my two fingers when I go to feed these guys. But they are now conditioned to no longer take only live food. So they're all going pretty much to the surface. And this is when you start noticing, really in my opinion, when you start jumping from a lot of the different live foods, you start noticing the difference in growth when you start getting them on frozen, and then also a combination of some dry flake. Because now you're able to feed these guys a little more often than you would if you had to only feed them live. It starts to become a lot less of a chore and more easier to feed them. Earlier this morning I gave these guys some frozen cyclops and some baby brine shrimp mixed up. So that was their frozen feeding. And their second feeding of this evening, or I should say for the evening, will now be my combination of different flake foods I mixed up. You know, I want to make sure that once these guys grow out, that unlike their parents, these guys are conditioned to feed on readily available foods. The parents were a little more difficult to get to eat dry foods and pellet foods. As a matter of fact, it took a while. I actually had to let them go hungry for a little while, and then they would just attack the pellets out of reaction. And I was never really a big fan of that type of method. I'm sorry, I paused there. I was just watching my two Betta Forshi actually swim around in circles and court each other. But I was never a big fan of using that method, but sometimes you have to try to break these guys off of live foods only. But unlike the adults, their parents, these Mahachaiensis will be taking pellets and flake food with no issues. So when we do rehome some of these guys, the new owners will not have to worry about some of the issues that I had to break the wild caught parents from. So this is the Betta Mahachaiensis fry, growing out really nicely, doing their thing, feeding on flake food and Paradigm carnivore crushed up. And I hope to take some future videos of the Betta Antuta fry, which are new for us this week, doing the same. Thank you very much, guys. Happy New Year, happy holidays. FunctionBuilt-Aquatics. See ya.